but I'm going to tell you a great story. So there's a guy who passed away a few years ago. He was a great guy named Junpo Roshi, right? He was a fairly well-known, kind of Zen, master teacher. And he was a wild man. I think he was kind of part of a certain moment of the 60s. I think he did prison time for kind of some selling drugs or something someplace along the way, but it was kind of part of his hardcore persona, kind of hardcore practitioner, kind of hardcore realizer, kind of serious, badass, Zen motherfucker, kind of blood on the ground, Junpo Roshi, right? And Junpo was very, very committed to no self, or some version of no self. He called it Mondo Zen, but it was, some version of the core no self teaching, was very, very clear to him. And this is what I'm about to tell you, by the way, is recorded. I believe it's on our website, so I am not making this up. I believe there's a recording of it. And so we finally did, we had just published the Unique Self book, and we finally were going to have our kind of big, showdown. For those of you who are familiar with the old American West, it's like the showdown at OK Corral, right? There we are in Tombstone, right? And we got
Dharma combat, right? And Zen, they call it Dharma combat.
Dharma combat. And we got, Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp and Morgan Earp and Jim, on the other side, you got Billy Claiborne. Who remembers this, right? Billy Claiborne and what were the name of the ranchers? I can't remember their names, but anyways, you got the idea. Okay. So we got the OK Corral showdown is going to happen. And he expects this and I had no idea what to talk about, but he expects this, this series of kind of, precise, we're going to blow away no self. And, I said to him, and I remember like Goddess kind of took over as Goddess, does. And I said, okay, I have clear, irrefutable, right, unimpeachable evidence for unique self. It's not just no self, it's unique self, that it's two words. I'm going to give you a direct transmission of it, and you will know it. So he looks at me like I'm crazy, right? Which, let's not go into that debate now, but who knows? But he's kind of looking at me like whatever, like yawning, Mr. kind of badass Junpo Roshi, who's a beautiful man, by the way, is a just fantastic human being. And so now it gets very quiet. I said, you ready? He said, I'm ready. So everyone's kind of, we're waiting. I said, here it is. Junpo Roshi. That was it. And he looked at me. He said, oh my God, you're right. That's a very big deal. It's a very big deal. In other words, Junpo Roshi is not just no self. The guy was all badass personhood of this very unique quality, this very unique texture, right? This very unique taste. And what I was saying to him is that this Junpo Roshiness is not just the social, psychological, and cultural conditioning that happened to form this dude who kind of wound up selling some drugs and going to prison and, kind of talking about monogamy and public. It wasn't just, no. There's this quality in cosmos, which is called Junpo Roshiness, right? Which was intended by all that is, right? And it is an irreducibly unique expression of the love, intelligence, and love beauty, right? Of all that is, that's living in, as, and through Junpo Roshi, that never was, is, or will be ever again. And Junpo Roshi himself, in his irreducible, gorgeous, stunning texture of uniqueness, right, is evidence of unique self.